Welcome to the Code with Jason meetup. We're going to work on SaturnCI again. I'm going to share my screen here. Share screen. Okay. Um, let's take a look at where we left off last time. So I left this reminder for myself, or maybe it's a reminder. I have this link to a billing area. So last time we added a billing section so that customers can use the product and pay for it. So here we can see that in the month of July, it doesn't show us that it's July, but we can infer based on these dates here. In the month of July, I've incurred 33.74. So this is the newly created billing page. What I want to do now is add like links, like uh, for each month, so you can like go back and see what was June. Right now it just shows you the current month, which is obviously not always going to be what you want. um and I did actually do some work to that end, but I don't know what happened to it. So let's see here. If I refresh this, does it come back? No, it doesn't. Maybe I stashed it. Yes. Okay. I stashed it. So here's what I have. Just these, I have this list of all the months for which jobs exist. So now we need to turn these into links so you can navigate among the months. So how do we do that? Let's see. First, I'm going to go to this billing page. Okay, and here's where I'm outputting the months. And so in my billing route, I think I want to have a place where we have the date. It'd be nice if it was something like this. You just have the year and month in the URL. So let's make it be like that. And I don't know off the top of my head how to add the year and month to this. So I'll get ChatGPT's help. Okay, and as usual, ChatGPT made it more complicated than it needed to be. So I'm going to get rid of this. We don't really need those constraints. Okay, and does that actually give us what we want? Whoops. No, it doesn't. Okay. Hmm. We don't
Like
even
throwing a
need.
Rails route into the console and it will spit out some new details that might let you see if
Oh
there's an
yeah, good
optimization.
idea. Okay. Project billing index, billing. Oh, billing ID. That's kind of funny. Okay. So what if we actually do something more like this? Okay. Yeah, let's see what that gets us. Okay, it's taking longer. Yeah, and then my link to the billing page is no good, but that's not surprising. Um, I will just comment this out for a second. Okay, so now we have billing 2024-07. Okay. And I've done all of this billing stuff without any system specs. I have some model specs for some of this stuff, but I don't have any system specs. And I'm starting to feel the lack of those. Um, so I think I'm gonna start adding those. By the way, welcome, Roger. Um, okay, so I'm gonna do this spec billing system. I'll just call it billing spec, at least to start. Describe billing. Okay. It works. We'll do visit. And what's my billing path called? Hmm. Doesn't look like it really has a name. Well, it says as index. What if we do as billing? Let's see. Project billing. Okay. Yeah, and then we can do project billing path. Visit project billing path, project ID, project.id. And we don't have a project, so we'll have to create one. Create project. Jonathan, we gained an attendee, then we gained another attendee, then we lost two attendees.
Was it something I said?
Okay, missing required keys. Okay, so I don't want to have to put those keys because what am I going to do? Am I going to have a billing link that's like to a specific month? I don't think that makes complete sense. I want to be able to go to slash billing and it just defaults me to the current month. So let's change our routes so that year and month are optional. How do I make year and month optional? Slash. Wait, is it just the slash? Parentheses and slash. Okay. And I actually want double quotes here. Okay. Now let's see if it stops complaining about that particular thing. Okay. I'm curious what happens when I go to this page. I'm actually kind of surprised I didn't get any errors. Oh, okay. Okay, now let's make it so that by default it it shows the current month. Okay. So here's how I think I want to do that. I don't want to like assert for the route. I think I want to assert for what I actually see on the page. So let's do this. Okay, so this job was created in January of 2020. And I'm actually going to run that just to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. Undefined method project. Oh, yeah. Job.build.project.id. I did make a mistake. Okay. And Roger has come and gone once again. Okay, so we'll do travel to 2020 0101. And once again, I'll run that. And then I'm going to assert undefined method travel to. I need an additional gem for that. That is very surprising to me. Well, I already have RSpec Rails. I already have RSpec Rails. I'm going to show it this. Okay.
Are you including the time helpers module?
Evidently not. Okay, that works. Now let's assert that this job appears on the page. Um, let's do this. Let's give this job a distinctive duration. Duration 420. Okay, expect page to have content 420. Undefined method duration equals. Yes. That's because it's not a database column, it's a method. Okay. So instead, I have to do this. Allow any instance of job to receive duration and return 420. Okay, I need a needs to be a symbol. Okay, still didn't work. Expected to find text 420. So let's see. Oh, I haven't signed in. So let's do that. And we'll put this in the before thing here. Okay, we'll see if that works. Okay, wonderful. Now let's do a different. Yeah, let's do a different date. Okay. So context visiting the same month as the job. No, no, no. Visiting visiting the billing page on 2020 0101.
Is that
It
more so though about visiting on like the default or blank date?
well, okay, one second. It shows jobs from January. Actually, I should say this. Oops. In January. Um, maybe I'm not making a good enough distinction with this yet, but it's not that we're visiting the billing page for January, it's that we're visiting the billing page in January. You know what? I should express it like this. The current month is January. Wow, I didn't spell that right. January. Okay, and I should even put this. When no when no date is specified. When no date is specified and the current month is January, it shows jobs from January. And then I'll say when the current month is February, it does not show jobs from January. I expect this one to fail. Oh, it passed. Why did that pass? Oh yeah, because it's already defaulting to jobs from this month. It's just not adding the route. It's not adding the current month to the route. Okay, and that's fine. I'm gonna run all the tests in this file. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna say, actually, let me see. I'm actually gonna reverse these, I think. I'm gonna say when the current month is January and no date is specified, it shows jobs from January. And then I'll say when the current month is February and no date is specified, it does not show jobs from January. And then I'm going to say when a January date is specified, it shows jobs from January. Okay, so currently it is February, but we're going to specify January. Year is 2020, and the month is 1. And we expect that job to be there on the page. And I expect this will fail. Yes. Yep, expected to find 420 and it didn't. All right. So now let's go to the controller. In here, we're doing time.current.beginning of month to time.current.end of month. And we want to do that a little bit differently. Exactly how, I'm not sure. We'll let ChatGPT take a swing at it and see how it does. By the way, dear viewer, um, I use ChatGPT not because I always think it's going to give me good, correct, usable answers, but because I think it'll give me it's often directionally correct, you know? So it gives you like a hint of a direction to go in. So that's why I use it. That's what I'm expecting out of it. Okay, so the year is either Bram's year, blah blah blah. Okay. That sounds great. Start date and end date. Yeah, I guess that seems fine. Whoops. Created ad is start date to end date. Okay, and we will see what happens now. Wow, the test passes. Okay. So if I manually go to the billing page here, I go to 2024-06, what do I get? Yeah, I get June's stuff. Apparently I incurred 1161 in June. Okay. I'm not ready to commit this just yet because this is like totally unfinished. Um, so let's do this. So right now we have 2024-07. We need that to be, we want to split this and get the individual bits. Um, okay. And maybe instead of months, we'll call this dates. Dates that each year, month. Let's just output these to see if I even did that much right. Apparently so. Okay. And then we can do this. Link to project billing path, project ID, project.id, year and month. Okay, let's see if that worked. No, what did I do? Forgot that. Hmm. Okay, I also forgot to like put anything in the link, but that looks right. Okay, what if I go to like January, for example? Okay, April. Wonderful. And then I'm going to visit the bear billing path again. That does, in fact, show me July. Okay. And then we can bring back this billing link. It's called Project Billing Path. And can I just give it the project ID like that? I'm guessing not, but let's see. Oh, whoops. Okay, apparently I can. And so in here, can I just go like that instead? Apparently so. Okay, great. I think I'm ready to commit this. I'm going to put it on a different branch though, because I'm not sure that I didn't introduce any regressions. Billing month navigation. Add month navigation for billing. Okay. Um, let's go to the tests. Okay. Now we have a billing page. You can see all of your charges. You can navigate among all the months. This is going to get old fast because as the months go, this list will just get longer and uglier. But in the spirit of the simplest thing that could possibly work, that's exactly what this is. And the question now is, what now?
Maybe there's actually a bug in what you've got there.
Really?
Um, if you so it's going up to it's using the date for it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say go until July 1st to July 31st, it's going to do July 31st at 12 a.m., not 12 p.m. I'm pretty sure if the range on that's correct. So it's not going to include all the. So if there's a build that's on the 31st,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be not included. So you'd want to probably do from July 1st to less than August 1st or a few different ways you could slice that.
Oh, okay. So I think I get what you're saying. Let me see if I do. Okay. Well, this is terrible because I have all this stuff going here. Okay. Let me do it a different way. Yes. Mm, mm.
So that's going
Um,
to be 12 a.m. on the 31st, not 12 p.m.
well, yeah, what you want rather than 12 a.m., you want like 11:59
Yeah.
p.m. Yeah.
What I would probably do is your end date, I would do that to be like end of month plus 1 day, and then do a non-inclusive range or a different thing along those lines. So you're doing greater than the first and less than the first of next month.
Yeah. How annoying.
Dates are annoying.
Yeah. Um,
If you use that as a, if the other thing you could do is use that as a date time, um,
mhm.
and with that, your end of month is then actually going to be 11:59. Um,
Okay. That
that's
sounds simpler. By the way, isn't it funny that I picked 420 as that time and this one here is 420?
it was on your mind.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If
So
you
we'll
do
do
datetime
date
dot
times for these. I'll tell ChatGPT that I want to do that. Oh, but first, let's write some tests for this.
So if you have one
Um,
where you build it on the last day of the month, then it should, your test will say it should be on the page, but it's going to fail.
yeah. Okay. So let's think about how we want to do this. I'm not feeling my smartest today, so this might take me more time than usual. Um, so I'm thinking about costs and benefits, and I don't want to do all this stuff using system specs because that just wouldn't be as economical as it could be. It'd be wasteful to invoke all that overhead to test this like fine-grained stuff. So one option is we could use request specs. That would be a little less overhead. Another option is we could use model specs and refactor this a little bit so that some of this code is in the model. Yet another option is that we could do a view component, and there surely are even other options still. But let's think about this. We have the billing page, and then we have the month's jobs. We have like the billing page. There's the billing page, and then there's like the body of data that goes on the billing page, you know? Is there maybe an entity there that makes sense to break out? It's like a job report, or maybe it's a billing report. Maybe it's a monthly billing report.
I was thinking my giraffe bad stab at it. It would be like a monthly project billing report.
Oh yeah, it is per project. Although maybe just billing report is enough, and it's like, whoops. There's a project and a I guess year and month. I think I'm happy enough with that for now. Okay, so I'll say billing report equals billing report dot new. Project is project, year is year, and month is month. Okay. Okay. And then jobs. Okay. And you know what? Maybe, well, I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. This is going to totally crash and burn, obviously. Jobs is nothing. Okay, so let's address that. Billing report dot jobs. Undefined method jobs for no class. Project equals project equals. Okay. Year equals year. Month equals month. Okay, jobs dot map. And now that whole query is getting called twice, so this might make it a lot slower than it needs to be. So I'm going to memoize it. Okay. And still really slow, but not super worried about that at the moment. Okay. Now, if I do this, does everything still pass? Okay, great. Hooray for loose coupling. Okay, let's commit that. Add billing report. Okay, and then now instead of having to write system specs for this, which would incur a lot of overhead, we can just write some model specs. Billing report. Okay. Copy the boilerplate from some other test. Run that. Okay. Now I'm going to say context, very end of month. It includes the job. Job at the very end of a month. It includes the job. All right. So we will say let job create job. And then we will say okay, we want created at, yeah. Created at 2020 01 01 11:58. I'm not sure if I have that format right, but we'll see. Okay, I don't know if that proves anything. I don't know if it's actually running it. Jobs equals billing report dot jobs. Actually, we'll just do this. Expect billing report dot jobs to include job. Oh, wait. That's not how that works. Project job.build job.build, yikes. Job.build.project year 2020 month 1. Back in those gloriously oblivious days before we knew that our world was going to come to a screeching halt. Okay, so it doesn't include this job, it's a job decorator. So I feel like this is actually an inappropriate place to how do I put it? This is on the wrong side of the fence. I'm actually going to change this also. I'm going to say jobs equals billing report dot new dot jobs. And then I'll do dot map billing decorator, billing job decorator. Okay, and so now here we won't have to worry about that decorator business because the decorator stuff is kind of a view related concern. So I don't feel like billing report should have to care about that. In theory, we could have a billing report without having a view for it. Maybe we want to show it in a PDF or something like that. Um, okay. Now this is not going to work anymore. So let's fix that. Instead of billing report.jobs, we'll just say jobs. And now that we're not calling it twice, there's no sense in memoizing it anymore. So that can be slightly simpler. Okay. Okay. So we at least have like a smoke test for that. I'm actually slightly surprised that it works. Let's see if the created at really is what I think it is. Job.created at. Oh, that's not the end of the month. That's the beginning of the month. Okay. So that fails. Okay. So now we can change our code. Can we do this? Apparently we can. So we can just say start date at end of month at end of day. Let's do one at the other edge where it's job at very beginning of a month. Okay, apparently that's fine.
Yeah, when you use dates to compare a date time, the date's got an implied beginning of day. So that's why that works out for the beginning of the month.
Okay. Um,
This is probably a little bit pedantic, but on line 15, that's looking at 11:58 a.m. Should probably be 23:58,
that is
59
an
to be
excellent
a.m.
point.
It's still going to pass, but
And Jonathan, I live for pedantry, if that's how you say it. I wish I had a I wish I had pe- a pedant. I wish I had a pedant here to correct me pedantically on my pronunciation of pedantry. Okay. Yes. Wonderful. Okay. Fixed date issue. Okay. And I'm not even gonna wait for this to finish. I'm just gonna merge it. Okay. Now I have people who are actually interested in using this project as their CI platform. And my question to myself is what's the absolute minimum that I need to have in order for them to be able to use it? Now, I could, in theory, just look at this report every month and be like, okay, Jonathan, you owe me 34.63. Here's my Venmo account. That would work. Um, and maybe that's how I want to do it. Doesn't seem like the worst idea in the world. But is there anything else that I would need that's like higher priority before somebody could start using it?
pretty
Jonathan,
much
what
all
if
the
I were to
videos.
say to you, you can start using this, you can pay me in funny money, And I'll hold your hand as much as you need to get it set up and stuff like that. Can you think of any obstacles?
I've only seen a handful of the videos, so I don't know if I'm the best person to ask. From what I have seen, it's running your CI builds. To me, it looks like it's doing the basics. Um, there's probably a few things I could see it doing that would be like great ways of helping me. So like, I don't know, doing something to see if like some builds are flaky and doing something to highlight them. But those would be like things you do to improve it going forward. From the
Yeah.
other side of things, for you, what I see if you wanted to avoid building out a whole payment system is even building out a report where it just shows per account or whatever what the totals are and throwing a status on it whether it's paid or not. um, that's probably the only thing that jumps to my mind as a thing that I would want to have if I was running it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Even if I'm doing payments manually, I would certainly want to keep track of what's paid and what's not. Okay. Even that is not an absolute necessity
No.
because I can just keep track of it in my head. I'm probably only going to have between 0 and 1 customers for a long time. Another thing that I can think of, again, this is not necessary, but eventually, right now, these charges are inferred based on the durations of these jobs. They are not snapshots. So if, for example, I change my price next month, the the prices from the past would change. And that's not right because like even something that's already been paid for, like the prices for that would change. So I'm gonna want to change this. Whoops. I'm gonna want to change this so that each job has its own like snapshotted charge based on what the pricing was at the time that that job ran.
So with that, do you see having each one of those have like a field that is pricing number, um, 1 cent per second or whatever? Or do you see having a table where you can say the price right now is 1 cent per second effective on this date, and you'd have a reference to that? Or even just say based on what is the date it was created, the the lookup is done that way.
That's an excellent question. Um, Man, the answer is maybe not super simple. Okay, so here's one way it could be done. Um, I could have the pricing just as a constant somewhere in the code base.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the jobs table, I could have a charge column. And after the job runs, calculate the charge and stick it in that column. But a symptom that a lot of applications suffer from is each database table becoming kind of a junk drawer. And it just has all these columns for all these various things. And just like you want your code to be cohesive, I think it's valuable to have your database tables be cohesive. And so I don't want to go down that path. I think what I want is a separate charges table where each one has a job ID and a charge. Still with the idea being that the charge would be snapshotted. So that's that part of it. And I think, I only said for simplicity, like having the pricing in a constant or something like that. But I think that'll probably get me by for quite a bit of time. I mean, a drawback that has is like if I change the price at some point in time and I'm looking at a past charge, it might not be clear what pricing applied to that particular charge.
You could
But
do
some,
something where that charge table is going to have the project ID, the charge total, and the charge rate, where you take a snapshot of that.
exactly. Yeah, I could just have a snapshot of the rate. Yeah, because historical things never change. And so even if it's like denormalized, it it's like kind of not actually denormalized because you're not stating the same fact twice. It's two different facts. It's like here's okay. So if we save the charge for a job today, it's like we're making a statement of a fact that could be inferred from other facts, and that's obviously not proper normalization. Um, but if we save the charge, we're making a statement of a fact that could be inferred from other facts. But then if the rate changes, now that fact that we stated duplicatively, it's no longer duplicative because now it's its own unique fact that we couldn't infer from the state of the facts now.
Are you for the job, are you storing the duration or the start and end time?
Yes.
So you could store if you wanted to denormalize, you could store just the rate, and then you could go the start time, the duration, times the rate to compute the charge. But if you're going to be doing, as soon as you want to start doing like reporting, having that charge duplicated is just so handy.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't think I want to have to do joins on the jobs table every time I
Hmm.
want to do a report and stuff like that.
No,
Yeah,
your charge is basically a computed field. Um, you could
right.
even you could even probably do something with a database using a view or something if you were very strictly wanting to denormalize. Um, but that's probably not worth it today.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, I think the next thing I'm going to do is off camera. I'm going to take this one potential customer I have and try to get his project set up on the platform. And surely I will discover reasons why that's not going to work. And maybe that'll drive what I decide to do next. Um, we're at about an hour, so I think I'll call it a day. Thanks, Jonathan, for joining me, and I will see you next time.
Here.
See ya.